Hey there, it's Teresa, and I'm talking to you from LA, where the subject for today's Facebook Live is actually prompted from a comment somebody made on last week's Facebook Live, where I was talking about expecting abundance instead of expecting lack, limitation. And so my topic today is abundance is in your DNA. The question is, do you see it? Do you claim it? And are you actively growing it? So here's why I say that, and why, contrary to what the woman said in the comment last week, it's not a big step. Really, it's not a big step to go from looking at your bank account, looking at your money, and expecting to see lack, not enough, that you can't do it, to expecting to see abundance. It's not a big step, it's just a different perspective. And as best I can from my room here at my Airbnb in LA, I'm going to try and demonstrate that different perspective. If I could be standing, it would be great, but that's just not working here today. So my husband and I, we live in the country. We happen to have an apple orchard. We inherited that apple orchard. But let's just say we didn't, and we wanted to grow some apple trees. So I would plant a seed, an apple seed, in the ground. And for the longest time, where I didn't see anything happening, but I'd put a stake there so I'd remember where it was, and we'd water it occasionally. And if anybody asked me what was planted there, what was growing there, I would say it's our apple tree. And pretty soon, well, actually not really all that soon for apples, but the apple seed would grow through the soil, and there'd be just this little sprout coming out of the ground. And if I saw it, and if anybody else saw it and said, what's growing there, I'd say, it's our apple tree. And pretty soon the sprout would be just a little bit bigger. And anybody, if they asked what it was, I'd say, it's our apple tree. And then would get a little bigger, and I'd say it's our apple tree. And then it would maybe start to grow a few branches, and it would be our apple tree. And it would get bigger and bigger, and I would always call it an apple tree, even though to this point it hasn't produced a single apple fruit. It's not like when it's in the ground and I don't see anything, I say, well, it's I don't know what kind of seed. When it's just a sprout, I don't call it a one day it will be an apple tree. I don't call it a, I don't know, 1% apple, 90% to be determined. At every stage of its growth, it's 100% apple. Now, that 100% appleness sometimes just looks like this much, but it's still 100% apple. And sometimes it looks like this much, and it's got red fruit on it, and it's 100% apple. It's never not apple. It's never less than apple. It's never only partially apple. Even though through many stages, it's never produced a single apple fruit. And the same is true for you. Abundance is in your DNA. You have the potential for abundance, 100% abundance within you. And unfortunately, what happens, especially around money, is we define our abundance by whether or not we've produced fruit or how much fruit we've produced. But the fruit isn't what makes us abundant. It's the expression of the abundance within us that we've recognized, we've claimed, we've tapped into, we've watered, we've nurtured, and we've expressed outward through our actions that produces fruit. Money, well-being, joy, a home we love, a life we love, relationships we love. But the fruit isn't what makes us abundance. makes us abundant. And so just like last week, I was talking about how my client, was so used to seeing lack in her bank account that she didn't want to go there. And I was saying, but there's abundance there. Now, maybe the abundance that was in her bank account was still only this size. But the important thing for her to do was to see it as abundance. Because only in seeing abundance and seeing it as abundance and focusing on abundance can more abundance grow. Abundance is in your DNA, in the qualities you possess, in the skills you have. And if it hasn't yet produced the fruits that you want, then that's the type of thing you just get some support around. And if one of those places where you're not seeing abundance in the form of fruit is around money, then I would love to support you. Just apply for a free Claim Your Money Power coaching call, strategy call, and we'll see how I can support you to tap into the abundance that's within you and that you already have and grow it so it produces the fruit you want. Love to hear back from you, your thoughts, your comments, your questions. I'm clear, I'm giving you a different perspective, but that's the whole idea. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.